Hey guys, welcome to the 50-second C programming tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be looking at the string concatenate function. And the string concatenate function will basically just allow us to add one string to the end of another string. So let's just go ahead and create a couple strings right here. So we'll just say car star first name equals John space, and then we'll just go ahead and say car star last name equals Doe. Alright, so now let's just say that we wanted to combine these two strings right here to make one. We wanted to just add this last name string on to the end of this first name string so that we get this guy's full name. Well, what we can do to do that is just use the string concatenate function. So we can just go ahead right here and say strcat, and that just stands for string concatenate. And this function takes two parameters. The first parameter is the string that we want to add onto. So we want to add onto this first name string right here. So we're just going to go ahead and say first name. Alright, and then the second parameter is basically just the string that we want to add onto this first parameter. And we want to add this last name string onto this first name string. So our second parameter is just going to be last name. Alright, so basically all this function is going to do is just going to take this string and add it onto this string right here. And it won't change this string right here. It'll only change this string. Alright, so after this function is called, we're just going to go ahead and print out first name onto the screen. So we're just going to say %s, end the line, and then we're just going to go ahead and print out first name. So when we run this program, we should just get out onto the screen John Doe, since it added this last name string to this first name string. So let's just go ahead and run this and see what happens. We see our application crashes. Now let's just go ahead and take a look at why in Paint right here. Alright, so first let me just go ahead and draw out the first name string. So we'll say JOHN space null terminating character, and we own these 6 bytes of memory right here. Alright, and now let's just go ahead and draw out the last name string, and we'll say that's down here. So we'll say DOE and then the null terminating character at the end, and we own these 4 bytes of memory right here. Alright, so the first thing that the string concatenate function is going to do is it's going to overwrite the null terminating character in this string right here with the first character in this string. So it's going to go ahead and overwrite this null terminating character right here with this D. So we're going to go ahead and put a D right here. So up until now we haven't overwritten any memory that we don't own. We own these 6 bytes of memory right here, and all we did was overwrite the last byte that we own with a D. Alright, but now we still have to add the rest of this string onto this string. So we have to add on the O, the E, and the null terminating character. So right here we see that we've stepped outside our bounds. We're overwriting memory that we don't own right now. And that's why our application crashed, because these 3 bytes in memory were probably very important for our program to run, so it crashed. So how can we fix this? Well, let me just go ahead and show you. What we're going to do is we're going to make this first name string right here a character array, and we're going to go ahead and allocate 20 characters of memory. So we're going to go ahead right here and just change this to a character array. So we're going to say first name, and we're going to go ahead and allocate 20 characters. Alright, so now when we run this, it should work fine. So we run this, and perfect. We get John Doe out onto our screen, and our application didn't crash. Now let's go ahead and take a look at why. Alright, so first let me just go ahead and write out our first name string. So JOHN space null terminating character. And now we own 20 characters of memory, not just these 6. So we actually own all this memory right here, and pretty sure this is about 20 characters of memory. Alright, so here we own all this memory right here. We own 20 characters, and we'll just say the Doe string is down here, so DOE null terminating character. Alright, so now when we go ahead and add this last name string to this first name string, the first thing that it's going to do is overwrite this null terminating character with the first character in this string, which is a D. So it's going to overwrite this character right here with that D. So I just put a D right here. And then it's simply going to overwrite these bytes in memory with the rest of this string. So it's going to add the O, the E, and then the null terminating character. And as you can see, when we added the rest of the string this time, we're not overwriting any memory that we don't own. We own these 20 bytes of memory right here. So that's why our application didn't crash this time. Alright, so now again, if we were to run this again, we see that it works fine. Alright, and one last function that I'm going to be showing you is just called string n concatenate. And string n concatenate will basically just allow us to choose how many characters we want to add from this string to this string. So we're just going to say string n concatenate, and this function takes 3 parameters. The first parameter is just the string that we want to add on to, like before, so we're just going to say first name. The second parameter is the string that we want to add on to this string, and we want to add on last name to this string right here. And then the third parameter is how many characters do we want to add from this string to this string. So I'm just going to say 1 for right now. So all that it's going to do now is just going to take this D and add it to this string and then put a null terminating character after that. So now when we run this, we should just get John D out onto the screen. So we run this and we get John D. So as you can see, it only added 1 character from this string to this string. And if I were to make this 2 right here, it would add the D and the O to this string right here. So I run this and we should get John Doe. Perfect. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial on string concatenate and string n concatenate. So see you guys.